Salute, everybody. Salute. And, once again, it's another great episode with the eviction notice with two hands, the IBFP. And look, let me tell you something, two hands, that I noticed about this. And this to show you the level of fanboyism. We posted the live stream and we let everybody know, what the title is. Errol Spence is being evicted. And before we even said anything, before we even went live, there was already a dislike. That lets me know that we're doing something right. That lets me know. That's it.
Man, you know what it is, man. Look, gotta step on them and hurt feelings, man. Look, all I'm saying is, if y'all gonna get emotional, you might as well get your box of Kleenex, park that joint next to you, get that joint nice and comfortable, because y'all gonna shed a lot of tears today.
And me and Two Hands want to give the same disclaimer that we always give. If you're emotional, if you're in your feelings, if you need to put on your tampon, this is not the show for you.
Not for you.
It's not. So don't get in here and get emotional. You don't want to speak facts. You want to bring your feelings into it. You want to hate. You want to be emotional. Any of that, leave that at the door. This is not the show for you. If you got a problem with people keeping it absolutely raw, keeping it too real for you, if you don't want to hear the truth, if you're happy in your lies and denial, this is not the show for you. And I'm going to tell you, the first person we're getting evicted is Errol Spence Jr. And it's Errol Spence Jr. And you know what? Errol Spence Jr. said some of the most egregious things I've ever heard anybody say. Because, this is the guy that, swears up and down that he said, and let me read you the statement that he said, because I thought it was hilarious. He said, that he would wash Terence Crawford. He may stop Terence Crawford. He said, we both have skill sets. We both have talent. We both have will. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I feel I'll wash Terence Crawford. I feel I'll beat him. I'll punch him. And he may be looking for a stoppage. So if you felt like you were looking for a stoppage, why didn't you go get that belt? And why did you name Sean Porter the easy road? It don't make no damn sense. So he's the easy road, but Terence Crawford, you feel you'll wash and you'll stop. Because if it was that easy, you would have went and got that work, right? Because you went and got that work from Mikey Garcia. But now all of a sudden, Marique Stigler. Hold on. We got a fanboy. He said, why you sound so loud and angry? Relax. First of all, Marique, this is the problem with guys like you. You were probably the dude that hit the dislike button. You came in here in your emotions, take your tampon off, relax, and hear the facts. If you're going to be sensitive, this ain't the show for you. So you can go ahead, hug your mama, turn the light switch up and down, and slap yourself for being stupid. But look, if Errol Spence Jr. thought it was sweet and thought Terence Bud Crawford was easy, then he would have took that fight right away. But he went life and death with the easy road and Sean Porter. Then this dude turns around and say some dumb shit like, oh, we both got to pay our worth. Me and Terence Crawford, we got to both pay our worth. It's like Mayweather-Pacquiao. How the fuck is this like Mayweather-Pacquiao? How is this like Mayweather-Pacquiao? Because Errol Spence is not Mayweather nor Pacquiao. He doesn't have the brand or accomplishments or skill sets of either guy. You know how you get to be like a Mayweather-Pacquiao? By fighting a guy like Terence Crawford. That's not – if you beat him, then you can be in that level. Terence Crawford's going to stop Errol Spence. Errol Spence is talking out the side of his neck because he knows the coronavirus is real and he knows there's not going to be any fights. He's talking all this trash, knowing damn well he's not going to see Terence Bud Crawford anytime soon.
Absolutely, man. This shit is getting out of control, man. You already know what it is. Only thing talking right now is that windshield and that pavement, man. That's the only thing that's talking right now. Is that boy head bouncing off the pavement. He just ain't got his shit together, man. His brain gone. This man said he would out-punch and knock out Bud Crawford. Let's be serious here, man. Bud Crawford get in that ring with you, bro. He will knock you out before, breakfast done or before lunch over. Let's just be serious, man. Like, this dude is the most delusional nigga running around right now, bro. You ain't even got in the ring right now. We ain't even seeing you work out, train, spar, do nothing. All we seeing you do is run your mouth. But you can't blame God. You got to thank God. Don't blame God. You got to thank God. Only thing you thanking him for is getting some fresh teeth and getting your head put back together, Humpty Dumpty, because your shit definitely was cracked. This dude is off his rocker right now, man. I'm tired of these niggas. This coronavirus mixed with a little bit of this cabin fever, mixed with a little bit of crack cocaine, mixed with some nutmeg and cinnamon and sugar, got this fool acting out of pocket, bro.
And look, two hands. Terence Crawford's going to put a foot in his ass and give him brain damage. Because at the end of the day, this dude turns around and says all this monkey stuff. What was this same energy? What was this same energy that the money got to be right? It wasn't that same energy with Sean Porter. It wasn't that same energy with Mikey Garcia. Terence Crawford been calling for this fight. Terence Crawford been wanting this fight. And if you felt it was easy, he didn't keep that same energy when Bud Crawford stepped up. He's just not keeping the same energy because he's staying away from what we know is the boogeyman of the division. This is the guy that wanted Danny Garcia for no belt. This is the guy that wanted Mikey Garcia for no belt. See, Mikey called him out and he said, well, Mikey called me out. I had to take that fight. Well, Crawford called you out, but you ain't took shit. What are we talking about? He's not keeping that same energy.
Man, he ain't keeping the same energy at all because let's be serious here, man. That boy will stop you, man. He will stop Errol Spence. And the fact of the matter is, bro, every time you had an opportunity to get in the ring and dance with that boy, man, you chose to go in other directions. And then the directions you went into, you didn't even do it in superior fashion, man. You look inferior, bro, and you made a motherfucking very bad spectacle of yourself, man. Then on top of getting thrown out the windshield of a car and all your damn teeth knocked out, bro. Shit, at least get your teeth knocked out for some money by Terence Crawford because I'm sure you would have took less damage from Terence Crawford than you would have took going through that windshield. You know what I mean? But hey, I can't fault him. A stupid nigga is a stupid nigga, man. You like drinking all that? You drinking all of that liquor, bro? That's all that. That ain't nothing but liquor talking, man. Let me see you get in the ring and fight somebody first, bro. Not a damn lightweight and go 12 rounds with him, and not a football player with fast hands like a damn defensive end, man.
And this is funny. Cali26 says, you know, man, the way they're calling for the fight, they should be willing to pay them $20 million each. You know what that is? That's a fucking excuse. Did Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence need to get paid $20 million each? Did Sean Porter and Errol Spence need to get paid $20 million each? Because every fanboy from here to Mississippi was calling for Errol Spence to fight Sean Porter instead of Bud Crawford. That's what the fanboys was calling for. So just because somebody called for a fight, that's what they should get. If that's what you want, that's an excuse because you don't want to see the boogeyman break down Errol Spence. And I'm going to say what a lot of people are afraid to say. I'm going to say what a lot of people are scared to say. And this leads into Errol Spence Jr.'s eviction. I like Errol Spence. I think he's above average fighter. And I think he had the potential to be even a great fighter. The only thing that's ever held Errol Spence back to me, the only thing I've ever had a problem with Errol Spence is that he didn't want to be great and put himself in those positions. Because if he did, then he would have turned around and he would have fought Terence Crawford right away. He would have said, fuck Danny Garcia. I'm not fighting that. I'm finna fight the dude that's been calling me out, that told me to take my panties off. You said you ain't scared of nobody from Nebraska. You said you'll stop Bud Crawford. You said he's too little. Go get that strap and show everybody you the real deal. Wouldn't nobody doubt Errol Spence. You stop Bud Crawford, ain't nobody going to doubt you. You're going to elevate the pound-for-pound rankings. You'll be a king in boxing, and you would have made your claim. But you know what? It shows me that the fact that you're looking for a Danny Garcia with no belt, you're not about keeping that same energy. You're not about being great. You're looking for the easy way out. What great fighter says they looking for the easy way out? Stop making excuses for Errol Spence.
He been looking for the easy way out, and the only people that shouldn't be able to see it is blind folks, Stevie Wonder, and damn Ray Charles, man. Because if you think about it, man, he been ducking your Denny's you guys too because they moved the rankings on him and put Danny Garcia in his place. Man, this dude has been having funny movements all around him, man. Like, you got to be serious, and if you can't peep what's going on with him, like I said, I like the dude, but my whole thing is this. When you start doing funny shit, bro, I'm going to call you out on it. And he been doing a whole lot of funny shit, bro. I'm not taking away from his, ability. I like the fact that, you know what I'm saying, he an avid body puncher, but that don't stop the fact of what this man doing right now and the people he ducking. And if you want to talk about the fact that how does Terence Crawford not make sense right now? Man, look, I'm going to tell y'all motherfuckers this, man. There's only 2 fights in the world right now. 2 fights in the world that casual fans and hardcore boxing fans all around the world want to see. And that's Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, and that's Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. So you can't tell me that fight wouldn't sell. You couldn't tell me that fight wouldn't make no money, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I would be looking way more forward than seeing Terence Crawford and Errol Spence than seeing Deontay doodle face skid mark ass Wilder and Tyson Fury, man. Let's be serious here. Man, that fight can sell. He just don't want to smoke. He ain't never want to smoke, man. That man been standing by fire hydrants his whole life, man.
And look, I'm gonna tell you guys one thing about, and you know, but I don't mean to deviate a little bit, but IOTBA is from Dallas, Mr. 214. And you know what? He's reported on Errol Spence from the beginning. He spoke about Errol Spence from the beginning, and he's only said good, positive things. But when he sees Errol Spence messing up, he called it on it, and then dudes want to hate. So IOTBA can't even be unbiased without people having a problem with it. And that's the same with me and Mr. Two Hands. When you look at everything in its totality, let's just be real about everything that we see here. Salute to Red Glove Militant. Let me be real about everything. Every super fight that we've had has been fucked. Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. Because of Wilder's ducking, he fucked up that fight. Because of the ducking, that the PBC was doing was stalling, the unification and undisputed at 154 between Jared Hurd and Jermell Charlo, that situation has been messed up. And now we're looking at the same thing again with this fight with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, because Crawford is washing everybody he fights in dominant fashion. But what Errol Spence Jr. is, he's going to turn around and he's going to end up facing a guy like Danny Garcia coming off a car wreck. We don't know how good Errol Spence is. He's going to go in and he might fuck around and get beat by a slow, flat-foot Garcia. You get beat by Danny Garcia, you done blew the next super fight. What are we talking about? You done blew the next, if Manny Pacquiao beat your ass, you done blew another super fight. So this is the problem with delays. Stop delaying the super fights. This is what people calling for. Because if you get beat before you get to Bud Crawford, you are not the A side. You're not getting $20 million, and you're not going to be a pound for pound fighter. Because when you walk into that fight, you're going to be less than. You blew the fight. That's the same way. You know, when Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, when that fight actually does happen, because it will happen, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Deontay Wilder, once he gets beat by a third time by Tyson Fury, he's going to turn in and he's going to say, let me get my cash out against AJ. Mm-hmm. And when AJ stop him, then he's going to get that last cash out, but he's not even going to get paid what he could have got from the zone because he blew it. This is the same shit Errol Spence doing. He wasting his time. He making a mistake. Errol Spence, get your head out of the bottle and put your head on boxing. You're ballooning up in weight. You're putting 30 pounds between each training camp. How are you even able to make it? Why is Sean Porter out here looking like Vasil Lomachenko, turning you all around the ring? And then fans want to justify why you went life and death with the easy road. Come on, Two-Man.
Looking like the best transition. Looking like the best transition boxing since Perdell Whitaker and shit. This motherfucker was moving order, man. But see, that's the problem, though, man. Look, you want to sit around, y'all want to let this fight so-called marinate, y'all want to let the fights brew, y'all want to sit and let them bubble and cook and try to get so-called the most money out of it, man. You're being absolutely stupid. Because in the fighting world, bro, this shit has been going on. I'm telling you, bro. I could even think back to Canelo Alvarez, when Canelo Alvarez had to fight Josecito Lopez, because Victor Ortiz got beat by Josecito Lopez, and he was supposed to fight Canelo at the time, and that fight got mixed up. Not saying it's a super fight, but that was the, you know what I mean, that was supposed to be the fight at that time. You know what I mean? So fights constantly get messed up because you want to sit and let it cook. Think about like Jason Rosario knocking out Julian Williams right now. You think of Julian Williams knocking out Jared Hurd. You know what I mean? The fight's constantly getting fucked up. So you got to take them. And as a prize fighter, how are you going to look at the most money and the best opportunity you got on the table and you just turn that shit down? That shit don't point to nothing but straight wet vagina, bro. You don't want no smoke, because if I'm looking at that fight right now, both of them boys could easily get cut a $30 million check apiece, man. If I'm just being realistic, just off of what we got in boxing right now, and what, man, people don't realize too what boxing does, man. Boxing brings the stars out, man. Boxing the one sport that you could sell a $30,000, $40,000 ticket, man, and people ain't even blinking about getting, you know what I'm saying, seeing somebody get knocked out in a couple minutes, man. So I'm just saying, bro, like, you got to get the money while the money is there before you end up fucking up the money and your name and your money gone.
And look, two hands speaks the truth. And I'm going to tell you this one thing right here. Let me tell you this one thing right here. Just in case anybody get it wrong. Me and Two Hands is not hating on Errol Spence. Me and IOTBA is not hating on Errol Spence. No one's hating on Errol Spence. We're giving you the absolute truth. We want Errol Spence to be great. We want him to challenge himself. But unfortunately for Errol Spence, due to his own stupidity, he put his boxing career at risk. We don't know what he got, but he says he's back better than ever. He has all this confidence about stopping Bud Crawford. So what I'm going to need all you fanboys to do is stop protecting Errol Spence. If this man say he's ready, if this man is cleared to fight, if this man said he's going to knock out Terence Crawford, then let him go fight Terence Crawford right now. Let's go get that super fight. Why delay this shit again? This man is already 30 plus years old. He's not getting any younger. Might as well come get that beat down right now. And the reason why we favor Terence Crawford is because we don't, we feel nice about Terence Crawford. No, it's because Crawford has literally stopped every single fighter who he's fought in the welterweight division. He's fought everybody, stopped everybody fought in the welterweight division, stopped them in dramatic and dominant fashion. I can't name a guy who's won a round on Terence Crawford in the welterweight division. I don't know if you can, Two Hands.
Man, the little dude is like a little devil right now, man. He breathing fire like a dragon. Everything he step on, man, he crushes that shit, bro. Like Terence Crawford, like that's what I'm saying, bro. You can't be a fan of the sport, bro, and not just be objective about both fighters, man. Like, look at what he doing, man. He's showing you spectacular knockouts. He's showing you straight skill, speed, footwork, you know what I mean? High boxing IQ, and people just ignore it. And it's funny to me how every time Terence Crawford goes out and he has a spectacular performance, people downplay everything about the one, whatever little mistake he might make, say Kavaluskas with the knockdown, or you know what I mean? Just anything. They'll try to critique one little thing he does in the ring, and they'll try to destroy that shit. But Errol Spence will go out there and have a 12-round fight with a lightweight, a 12-round fight with, you know what I mean, the worst champion at 147 is Sean Porter. And people don't say shit about that, you know what I mean? But they just dog Terence Crawford. So I'm just saying, call it down the middle and keep the same energy. Or if you don't, I'm just going to have to cook.
And look, and then salute to Alex Mundo. He said Mean Machine technically should have won one round against him because it was a knockdown. Well, my only caveat to that is Crawford was beating his ass before and after the knockdown. So even if you know how to score a fight, you understand he still could have tied the round. So he still didn't mean he would have lost the round. Because if you win in the round, even if you get knocked down, depending on how the judges score it, you still could have broke even for the round. That's how you score fights. There's too many casual comments out here, Two Hands. But go for it, Two Hands.
Oh, my bad. I was about to say, that's the problem right there. See, we're talking about how this man just, you know what I mean, just spectacularly beat this dude all the way up, and people talking about he should have got one damn round. Like, at the end of the day, that one round wasn't going to change the outcome of the fact that that man got stopped. See, that's what I'm saying. We got to stop looking at these little this little bullshit when it comes to Terence Crawford, because I don't see nobody counting 1,000 nut shots, you know what I mean, Sean Porter got, because, you know, basically Errol Spence was living in them shits.
And I'm going to tell you this. I had Porter winning that fight. But, you know, even if you didn't, it's all good. It's all good. But one thing you did know that Errol Spence Jr. was, you know, he was exposed for who he really is. He's not an elite fighter. And that showed against Sean Porter, because we've seen Keith Thurman perform better against Sean Porter than Errol Spence. That tells us all we need to know. But that segues into Keith Thurman, Ponytail Promotions. See, I know why Keith Thurman has a ponytail, because he want half of these boxers to pull it when they in the ring. You see, he got female tendencies. And the problem with Keith Thurman, he turns around and says, you know, he wants to be a monster in the welterweight division. He dominated the welterweight division before, and he wants to come back at 100% and dominate it again. And then turns around and says some monkey ass shit like, he welcomes the rematch with a predictable Danny Garcia. Why in the fuck are you trying to fight Danny Garcia just like Errol Spence? Everybody's trying to cherry pick Danny Garcia for no belt when any of these guys could go get that Crawford smoke for a belt and a shot at greatness. Why? So Keith Thurman, you need to cut your ponytail off and slap the shit out yourself for even being dumb enough to say that you want a Danny Garcia and then turn around and say you want to be a monster in the welterweight division again. You don't become dominant in the welterweight division. You don't become a monster unless you go through the monster, which is Terence Bud Crawford. We're not going to sit up here and string you along with a curly ass ponytail. That's weak shit. Those are feminine ways. We're not gonna protect you, Keith Thurman. You done already got smacked down by Manny Pacquiao. Go get you a belt and show people you ain't fucking playing. But you know what? You don't want to do that. You don't want to go fight Terence Crawford, because you know what? Terence Crawford is your only option at a belt. Errol Spence say he don't want to fight you. Manny Pacquiao now looking at you. Go get that butt smoke. No, what do? You take the easy road. You want to go fight a predictable Danny Garcia again.
That man straight garbage truck juice, man. I'm gonna tell you what, man, stop calling yourself a monster, because the only thing you've been a monster at is money running your damn mouth. Because let's be serious, when you took that interview when you were in the ring, knowing that you were about to fight Manny Pacquiao before he stopped your ass when you made the other stupid ass comment you made, talking about he got T-Rex arms, bro, man, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Because at the end of the day, man, you ponytail rocking Milli Vanilli look-alike, bruh. Like, this nigga is not doing anything. He said he has absolutely no interest in fighting Terence Crawford when he was speaking on how he played with Jeff Horn, and he could have fought him in orthodox and stopped him in 4 rounds, but he just beat him up in southpaw because he decided to play with him. That man had straight water and nothing but emotional hurt in his eyes, and realistically looked away from that camera and looked back and had to be honest with the people while taking a sigh of relief and being ashamed of himself at the same time by saying he would never fight Terence Crawford unless it makes sense. Well, motherfucker, it makes sense right now. And I'm going to tell you why it makes sense right now. Because you don't got no belt. You just got whomped by Manny Pacquiao. You don't have nothing to do. You just sitting. Like a lot of these dudes, all they doing is just talking, man. These dudes is 100%, they the champions of talking. That's all they the champions of. Because them niggas definitely don't want no smoke.
And look, I'm going to tell you one more thing about Errol Spence. And look, salute to BJ Freeman. BJ Freeman's a real one. He's a real one. He's a big Spence guy. And, you know, like I said, I don't have a problem with Spence. My only thing is his actions. His actions don't coincide with his words. See, he's talking real tough right now when he know there's a coronavirus, there's no fighting going on, and he looked massively overweight. That lets you know he's not training. He's not trying to live the life of an elite boxer. Just like Andre Ward say, you don't play boxing, you live this shit. You play boxing, that's how you get hurt. That's how you get destroyed. This is how you get stopped. You don't play boxing. And here's the thing about Errol Spence. Don't ever fix your mouth to say you're going to stop Bud Crawford when you went, 12 rounds with a guy from 135 and Mikey Garcia. And, people try to say, well, Errol Spence Jr., Mikey got a good chin. You make all these excuses. There's no exception. No excuse can be made for not stopping the guy, moving up 2 weight classes, and you're supposed to be the biggest, strongest, baddest man at the welterweight division. There's simply no excuse for it. And then you turn around and you see this. Why did Errol Spence Jr. fight out of a high guard and defensive? So if you're going to fight that way against Mikey Garcia, what makes me think you even going to take a chance against Bud Crawford?
Man, he fought that way out of a high guard defensive because he was afraid of getting his chin cracked and getting wobbled by a lightweight. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what he would have did in that boxing ring, if he would have got wobbled by a lightweight, that would have been the end. People would have ruined him. All of the sharks would have came out. It would have been blood in the water, and everybody would have been out for that food. So at the end of the day, Errol Spence got to be real. Right now, he got an abnormal size head. The boy looked like he been just licking his thumbs and sticking them in damn electric sockets all day. Look at his fucking head, man. The nigga head look fucking crazy right now. And that shit was way before the damn COVID-19 virus, so I don't want to hear that bullshit. Errol Spence, Errol Spence is talking boxing right now, but it ain't really making no sense. Errol Spence talking like he want to be great right now, but he looking really pedestrian. Errol Spence talking like he want to fight Terence Crawford and he'll knock him out, but he look like he running in the other direction. Man, don't talk about nothing until you start to do something, because, man, your actions ain't adding up to anything, bro. And for real, I'm looking, and the boy in Nebraska right now looking like he going to break.
And look, have you noticed his hands, 2 hands? Everybody's been talking all this hot shit ever since the coronavirus broke out. Errol Spence talking about he'll stop Bud Crawford. Keith Thurman talking about he's going to dominate the welterweight division, but then wants Danny Garcia. You get Vasil Lomachenko saying that, he's ready to fight Devin Haney. You get Devin Haney saying he's going to knock out Loma. Everybody is talking that shit right now in boxing. Is any of these dudes serious about what they say in 2 hands, or they hiding behind the coronavirus feeling like, I know I'm not going to take a fight in a while, so I can say whatever I want. I can pop off.
Oh, shit. See, this is where, feelings about to get touched. Feelings about to get touched right now because I got to talk about it. All right, man, look. A lot of these dudes talking this shit about they gonna knock this dude, knock that dude out, man. Some of these niggas ain't talk like that until they got stuck up in the house, quarantine, man, had to look in the mirror, start shadow boxing a lot, and they really started feeling brave. Because I don't want to hear a lot of this shit coming out these dudes' mouth. Now, when it come to Devin Haney and Lomachenko, I'm gonna give Devin Haney this green light. Devin Haney been calling that man Lomachenko for the past 2 years, man, and he been wanting to smoke, and he was campaigning for it in 2019, well, through all the way up through to get to the WBC eliminator, just to try to fight that man. But you know, that man got that shit didn't happen the way it was supposed to because he ended up getting franchise champion. Now, you know, Lomachenko, bruh, I got to call you out on this shit. You got to keep that same energy, fam. You talking about, you know what I'm saying, you want the smoke, and you talking about let's get it. And now you saying you don't think Gervonta Tank Davis would take the fight, nor is he, you know what I'm saying, his management will ever take the fight. Motherfucker, you knew his management wasn't going to take the fight this year. You knew they wasn't going to take it last year. You knew they wasn't going to take it in 2018. I don't know how many times Floyd had to say it. I don't know how many times Leonard Ellaby Knows had to say it. Come on now, let's be serious. Because the whole time, that man in 2019 was putting pressure in front of them cameras, calling you out, walking up the WBC ladder, just to get to you, and you took the franchise and you never once even said nothing about him. Now you talking about Devin Haney, let's go. I'm not saying you don't want to fight the man. I'm not saying you scared of the man because I definitely admire your skill. But at the same time, bro, you're not keeping that same energy. So if you wanted to, you know what I'm saying, puff your chest out, you should have did that shit a few months ago because now all of a sudden it look a little weird to me like the coronavirus and cabin fever getting to you too. I'm just saying, I want to hear that same shit when you get up out of here. When you fight Teofimo, man, handle your business. I want to hear that same shit when it come to Devin Haney, since we already know, and it's already written down, that you believe that Gervonta Davis fight wouldn't happen. You talking about go down to 130, and you got a motherfucking dog already right there. You know what I'm saying? At 135, that's been making it clear he wanted to fight you. So what's all of this bullshit? And Ryan Garcia, you need to stop it too, because you've been on the joint getting extra cute and extra sassy. When you fight Jorge Linares or you fight Luke Campbell, like you say, then maybe I'll start believing that shit you talking right now. But right now, it ain't nothing but can kicking the shit down the street with you too, because I believe the last guy you just knocked out, that nigga was just fighting at 130. He just got his ass whooped by Tevin Farmer. So I don't want to hear that bullshit you talking either. Come on, man. Let's just keep it all the way real and call it all the way down the middle out this bitch.
And look, in two hands, you touched on something too. Look, I think Ryan Garcia got the skills to be a great fighter. And, you know, right now he still needs to prove it. But he's talking dumb shit, talking about he turns into Muhammad Ali or some shit if he beats Tank Davis. First of all, that's probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Ryan Garcia needs a big case of shut the fuck up right now and just focus on his craft. That's the only thing that we want. I respect Ryan Garcia for wanting a Tank fight. A lot of people are counting him out. But right now, he need a big case to shut the fuck up. This is what a lot of guys need. That's the problem with these dudes. Too many guys are talking this hot shit during the coronavirus, the same shit that they was afraid to talk before we got the coronavirus. These guys was quiet with their hands in their pocket and their head all the way down, walking to school with nothing to say. These are these type of dudes. Errol Spence had nothing to say about Terence Crawford stopping him. His mom was on Danny Garcia in a party at night. You know, it's the same thing with all of these guys. Keith Thurman, Ryan Garcia, none of these guys need to be talking right now. Be working on your craft. Get in the gym. Show that you're ready for this next level. Because once this coronavirus ends, you're going to have to back up all that shit.
You had to back all that shit up. You had to back all that shit up, bruh. And man, Nuke, what really pissed me off is motherfuckers don't be keeping this shit authentic when it comes to this boxing shit, man. And this is what I mean by that. Teofimo Lopez is the only dude at 135 out of them young cats that went in there, you know what I'm saying, went into the lion's den, stopped Richard Comey, the champion at 135 with the IBF belt in 2 rounds with a spectacular knockout. If he wasn't going to get caught with the damn right that was coming down the pipe, he was about to get caught with the motherfucking left hook. So, I mean, let's be serious here. Y'all talking all of this shit, talking about he don't got no chance against Lomachenko. He ain't going to be able to do this or do that. Y'all giving all of these other dudes respect, but not giving him his respect. But he the one who really put in this work and really made his claim. So what about that kid is this not special? Because I see him doing special shit, but everybody downplaying his opposition. But he the only one I know right now that's really knocked out an authentic champion at 135 right now, other than Lomachenko putting in his work up there. So why can't he get his fucking respect? Y'all motherfuckers act like some bitches, man.
And here's the funny thing, too, Hans. This is probably the most hilarious shit I've ever seen. Before, Teofimo was fighting Richard Comey, all of these fanboys were coming out saying Teofimo's hardest fight is going to be against Richard Comey. Comey's going to drag him into deep water. The Nakatani fight showed us what Teofimo is. He's a hype job about to get exposed. It's going to be Comey versus Loma. Then Teofimo goes in there, blows this guy out of the water, stops him in dramatic, decisive fashion. And then nobody wants to give him credit for beating Richard Comey after doing the thing that everybody said they needed to see.
Right. Because we gotta talk facts here. I mean, that man really did, in my opinion, he beat Robert Easter, man. He should have, been a champion, 2 times over off the rip, just off of that, off the strength of that right now. And while people trying to downplay, the Beltran fight, that man had to go, that man had to go life or death, come back damn near from the brink of destruction and get that win. He has been in his fights, man. And for real, Teofimo Lopez, people downplay Nagatani. What Nagatani was an unknown dude, because let's be serious, a lot of us did not know who Nagatani was. He was an unknown dude who really could box, who was coming, he really wanted a shot at that IBF belt. So if you young and you hungry, you got a chance, you long and you rangy, man, you got a chance of making it a hard fight. He had to adjust. But regardless of whatever the situation was, he went 12 rounds and he outboxed him. And because he didn't knock him out, now people saying they trying to normalize him. But see, that's the problem with commentators too. See, they'll sit up there and say, power could be, your worst enemy, because you'll play into that too much if you don't know how to box. But as soon as a dude that's usually knocking somebody out shows boxing skills and outboxes a guy for 12 damn rounds, they say, he looked normal. He got exposed. What the fuck is going on out here?
And let me tell you something about Gervonta Stank Davis, Gervonta Cheeseburger Davis, Gervonta Chips and Queso Davis. And this is the one thing that I got to critique Gervonta about is this. Is Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't go into training camp. He goes into fat camp because he's not learning any skills. He's not building any tools to use in fights. He's simply trying to cut weight. He's simply having them hold the mustard and cheese on his sandwich. This is all this guy is doing, is trying to lose weight in training camp. Fat camp. That's what it is, because he's not doing shit. We haven't seen any huge leaps of improvement from Gervonta Chips and Queso Davis. We haven't seen anything special from Gervonta Chips and Queso Davis. But what we've seen from Tank Davis is this. Tank Davis is too small to move to 140. He's going to get destroyed by everybody at 140 because his arms and his height, he's just too small to be at 140. His power was exposed at 135 against an old chinny Gamboa. So at the end of the day, and the guy couldn't even make weight comfortably. I'm sure the guy's nothing but a butterball right now, gaining weight, sitting in fat camp. At the end of the day, Tank Davis, who can he beat? Why is he not calling out Teofimo Lopez and really trying to make the fight? Why is he not really trying to make the fight against Vasil Lomachenko? See, really, Tank Davis, he's the guy that everybody in 135 want to fight right now, and yet he's not fighting anybody. He want to go and try to cherry pick a Leo Santa Cruz. It don't make no sense. Tank Davis is pretty much he's going to go down as the next Adrian Broner if this pattern continues. That's what he has nowhere else, because just like Broner looked good coming up, and then once he finally came up, he got the brakes beat off of him. He got scared to let the hands go. This guy could be the next Adrian Broner, because we also know Adrian Broner has weight issues as well.
We about to look at if this man don't get his shit together, man, we about to look at another fall of a talented light-skinned nigga like Ray Caruth, man. You know what I mean? Like, let's be serious, man. This kid, okay, let's just look at his recent pattern of history. What has Tank Davis done that you can honestly glorify in the sport of boxing right now? I want to know. Please tell me, because he definitely did go 12 rounds with Gamboa, and that Gamboa definitely rocked him, in the 5th round with a hook, while he was towards the ropes. I'm just saying, he went 12 rounds with that man and had to get, and the ref had to give him a knockout, at the end of the fight. Other than that, I know he got caught up in handcuffs with Floyd, one of Floyd old girls. Then he gets caught up beating and choking up his girl, catches a charge for that. Then the charges get increased because he found out he definitely was punching on her and choking her up all in the back when the other footage came out. Outside of that, Gervonta Tank Davis has done absolutely nothing besides owe Julius money. and then be at 130, talking about he's going to fight Josh Taylor at 140, can't make 130, jumps up to 135, embarrasses himself at the weigh-in, trying to pick a fight with the guy, showing up late, being highly unprofessional with Gamboa. So, I mean, if you think about Gervonta Tank Davis in a whole, he has given nothing to the sport that you could even measure up or even mention his name, talking about Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, or Vasily Lomachenko. I wouldn't even mention this kid's name because he getting a lot of credit for doing absolutely nothing. Everybody wants to talk about this dude. You talking about him in his heyday because you definitely ain't talking about him in 2019. You definitely ain't talking about him in 2020. What type of spectacular moves or anything great he's done in boxing, because he hasn't done anything in boxing. So this kid's name is just being overly mentioned, bruh, and all he doing is just pigging out on damn potatoes tied to goddamn Sonic all day, eating damn slushies and hot dogs, man.
And the only thing I say is this, Two Hands. Tank Davis, you know, this guy, his next pay-per-view fight, he wants it to be against his baby mama. He don't want to go on pay-per-view against Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, anybody else. He want to go on pay-per-view against his baby mama. But you know what we got to do real quick? We got to add D in real quick, Two Hands, because you know what? We're talking about Teofimo Lopez. And for the love of sports, let's talk about it.
What's good?
D, unmute yourself. What?
Oh, yeah. What's up, fellas? What's going on? What's going on, my brother Luke, Mr. Two Hands? Look,
salute,
man.
Brother. Salute.
Hey, I heard you guys talking about my man Teofimo, and I had to get in on this because I like Ryan Garcia, and I've been advocating for Ryan Garcia. But Ryan Garcia getting a little loose lip because I don't know if you guys seen the interview when he was talking about his thoughts on the Teofimo versus Loma fight. I'm not even going to get into it, but Ryan basically had himself here and had Teofimo here. That man even had Tank doing a better job against Loma. I said, now Ryan must have been sipping on Grandpa's cough medicine that morning or something, because I got my boy Teofimo whooping Ryan's ass. I don't know what he see, but Teofimo ready to go. And when you look at all of these young fighters, Shakur, Devin Haney, Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo the one proving the most. So Ryan, pump your brakes, slow your roll here. You know what I mean? Teofimo's at the head of the pack. He's proving the most. He's beating a real champion. He's getting ready to fight on unification against the best at 135. No argument to me. So Ryan Garcia needs to slow down some. And I want to say this too. One more thing about Ryan Garcia. Listen here. Teofimo took a couple of Comay's hooks, and we know that's Comay's best punch. We ain't seen Ryan Garcia get tested to that beard yet. And you talking about getting tested against a Teofimo, you better slow your roll because you might be sleeping that ring, young man, if you get in there with Teofimo, right now at least. I mean, with him being with Reynoso under the tutelage of Canelo, I can see somewhere down the line Ryan getting better and potentially beating all of those guys. But right now, Ryan better slow his roll because I got Teofimo putting him away right now.
And I agree with you 100%, D. Look, Ryan Garcia is talking above his pay grade right now. Ryan Garcia, you know, he's a developing fighter and he still needs to prove he can beat Jorge Linares. You still got to prove that. So don't go in a Linares fight, struggle, and then now nobody's even worried about you anymore. Right now, it looks like Ryan Garcia is progressing. It looks like he got the goods. But how many times have we seen a fighter step up and we thought they had the goods? Erickson Lubin, he came in there, laid a goose egg, wasn't ready for the limelight, and then boom, it turned around. And right now, I think Ryan could give Teofimo a few problems because of his height, his reach, and speed. But at the end of the day, right now, I'm picking Teofimo to beat Ryan because at the end of the day, Teofimo is the more proven fighter. Teofimo proved he can take a punch. He proved he can give one of the most devastating punches at 135. Teofimo is no fucking joke. And if anybody thinks that he can't sleep Loma, then you sleep because you really don't understand. This might be the hardest puncher at 135, period. But I'm going to put it like this. Ryan Garcia has all the potential in the world. He just needs to hold a big case and shut the fuck up until the coronavirus is over. I understand promoting yourself, but then you're going to talk to yourself and you might not be able to live up to that hype this early. Two Hands, you want to speak on that?
Absolutely, I agree. I already consider Teofimo the hardest puncher at 135, but my thing is this, man. I'm like, all of these dudes is doing a whole lot of talking, man. It sounds really good, but we got to look at the guys that have really done it, that have really put it in the work. I can't call Teofimo Lopez no prospect. That man is the IBF champion of the world. You got to call Ryan Garcia. You got to, you know what I mean? You got to call Ryan Garcia a prospect. I mean, kind of, you got to consider Devin Haney still a prospect until he defends that WBC belt. So at the end of the day, Teofimo Lopez is the only guy who sits up there who is really can say, man, I've already been through the fire. I stand as a champion. And I mean, to sit up there and ignore the fact that this guy doesn't have superior elite abilities, extremely fast hands, extremely good power, you know, very good footwork. You know, he has the ability to do some things, man, that people are just counting him out. And I really don't think people are looking at it straight down the middle. I know Lomachenko has ability, you know, but this kid has a lot of ability too. And the thing is, Lomachenko is absolutely maxed out at the weight and the position he's at. Teofimo Lopez is not, and he already has the size and reach on him. And this kid isn't going in there to box, man. Lomachenko coming in there to box. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of boxing going on, but this kid is going to bully him most of the time in this fight. He's going to go through his punches and see, you know what I mean, see what his punches feel like. He truly believes that he can dust off his punches, walk through them, and beat the shit out of them and drop them. And that's what that kid is going for. So I don't think people should ignore the fact that he has the, you know, the ability to do that and be able to stand his ground and box too. And who knows, you know, why everybody just writing it off like Lomachenko is gonna wash him. We might be going to this fight and experience, you know, so many different nuances. And this kid has other talents that we didn't get to see that he possesses in the ring. And we like, oh shit. And you get a whole lot of shock value based off of the trick bag that this kid has that we just don't know about. So what I'm saying is, man, expect the unexpected because it's about to go the fuck down. And I really don't believe people understand how good of a fight this is and how much of a 50-50 fight it truly is.
And,
and let me say,
hold on, D. I just want to ask you this. Do you think that this could be almost like a setup like the Wilder Fury? Everybody thought that Fury was going to go in there. And I'm not talking about skills-wise. I'm talking about a situation where everybody thought that Fury would win early rounds, but then end up getting stopped. Pretty much everybody I heard had Fury losing that fight. Now all of a sudden we got all these people on their knees trying to kiss up to Fury. If we're going to be real about it, is this the same thing? Like people might be shocked with what Teofimo can do when he get in there. We don't know if he could win or what, but we know he's a dangerous fighter. You think people are going to be shocked after this shit? Because people might not expect how good he really is come to fight.
Yo, I'll tell you like this. I think there is going to be a lot of people shocked if Teofimo gets in there, especially depending on how he gets in there and beat Loma. But I have said this. I was just talking to Sean Newton. Shout out to Sean on my live just before this one. Listen here, man. Lomachenko taps out basically at 126, 130. So people have to understand that he's already achieving greatness, but he's at a weight class that is really uncomfortable to his natural fighting weight. He's already higher. And now you're talking about fighting a kid like Teofimo, who is arguably the hardest puncher at 135. It's very dangerous, very dangerous. It can't be one of these fights where, you know, all of the greats in the past or whatever have always had an off night. Loma can't have an off night against Teofimo, or he could find himself sleep in the ring and people will be extremely shocked.
Well, here's the problem I have with people, Two Hands, is that when Vasyl Lomachenko was fighting a guy like Luke Campbell, and before the Luke Campbell fight, nobody gave Luke Campbell a chance. Everybody said Luke Campbell was going to get schooled by Loma. Then when Loma struggles with Luke Campbell, Loma get buzzed with a good shot. Luke Campbell hurts Loma, and Lomachenko admit that he was hurted by Luke Campbell. Then after that fight, everybody says Luke Campbell's a god. And Devin Haney can't beat him. Teofimo can't beat him. Ryan Garcia can't beat him. None of these young guys can beat him. Luke Campbell's a god. The same guy that they gave no chance to beat Loma. How is he a god now?
And the sad part about it is all Luke Campbell did was revert back to his amateur boxing days. That was it. He just stayed back, used his range, man, popped that jab. Stayed rangy, stayed lateral. He just reverted back to his amateur pedigree, man. That's all he did. So, they giving Luke Campbell all of this praise and things of that nature. What do you think? What do you think Teofimo is going to go in there and do? But see, this is the thing that I don't think people are paying attention to as well. Lomachenko is not a 135 fighter, honestly.
Yeah.
Lomachenko's ability is what makes him a threat at 135. That's what keeps him here. That's what makes him a threat. That's what makes him a dominant. That's what makes him dominant. We know he can't push past 135 and go higher. There's a point where skill caps off, and there becomes a point where brawn and the ability to show brawly and bully someone takes over even your skill, because you might not just have enough pop. You might just not have enough zest on the end of that thing to keep him up off of you. And so you've got to be able to look at those things, because, you know, just like Floyd Mayweather went up all of those classes because he just had superior boxing abilities that people just couldn't download. They couldn't download the information fast enough. That's what Lomachenko does, and it's mainly based off his footwork. They cannot download the information fast enough. But it's at a point where now you're fighting a guy who really, he ain't capped off at no 135, bro. And I don't know if just your skill alone is gonna let you be able to just carry you through the fight. And this is gonna be the fight that you're gonna really see if he's tested, if he can stand being manhandled or not. Because we saw what happened with Orlando Salido put the type of pressure on him. And I give credit, I do, you know, give credit to the fact that he didn't understand exactly how dirty fighting is when you come up from, you know, the amateur rank to professional. But still, if Orlando Salido can pressure you in that fashion, you had 397 fights before that, victorious 396 times. If Salido can pressure you in that fashion, what do you think Teofimo Lopez style of bullying is going to be like when he put pressure on you? Because it's going to match his punch. I promise you that.
Yeah. And speaking of Floyd Mayweather, before Lomachenko moved to 135, when it comes to percentage of his opponents hitting him, he was actually rivaling Floyd for how much his opponents were actually able to hit him. Once he moved to 135, those numbers plummeted. And the reason is because now he has to work twice as hard to keep these guys off of him. His numbers of punches being landed on him are much higher at 135 than they were at 130 or 126. And there's a reason for that. He has to work that much harder to keep these guys off of him. And so, guys, I mean, like, all of that's going to be a factor in this fight with Teofimo Lopez. I myself picked Loma by decision, you know, but I don't have this, like, no-win situation for my guy Teofimo. You know, even though he's my guy, I mean, I still think Loma's a hell of a goddamn fighter. He could do some special things in that ring. I just want to see if the kid can figure out how to get through and get past. I just know that Teofimo is really talented on setting up shots, you know, getting guys to come into shots or getting them into position where he can land in that shot. The thing with Lomachenko is he thinks he has enough of an IQ where he's not going to fall for those things that his other opponents fell for. He's not going to be able to have his way with Lomachenko, so it's going to be pretty interesting for the kid.
This is what I feel like is the big difference in this fight and all the other fights that Lomachenko been in. You know, in these fights, those guys don't, at 135, a lot of these guys, you know, that fought Lomachenko, you know, that fought him at 130, they didn't, you know, he's not fighting big. And a lot of the guys he fought weren't fighting him big. Now he's in a situation now where you're going to have to fight big, bro, because he's going to grab you up. He's going to take you to the chop house. He's going to hit you with uppercuts from the inside. He's going to forearm you. He's going to press you. He's going to push you. He's going to maul you. He's going to let you know that he's in there to flex on you. My thing is, what you going to get off when a person really up on you and got you pressed like goddamn, like khakis on a Sunday, bro? Like, because that's what it's gonna be, fam. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be ugly. This gonna be the fight where you gonna have to use that damn spit bucket for blood, bro. You gonna have to, fam, because he's not coming in there to be. It's not coming in there to be. It's not going to be a beautiful boxing match, bro. You're not going to get that Lomachenko. You're going to get that's going to be able to dance and just flourish in that. You're going to get pockets of it. You'll get pockets of it. In my opinion, I feel as though you're going to get pockets of it. And he going to have to find them pockets, because other than that, that nigga going to be on that man. He going to be on him.
And let me tell you guys something, to speak to your point, two hands, what you said about Vasyl Lomachenko can't go to 140, because there's a point where your skill set and the size of your opponent is just going to be too great. And we just got a comment from Barreras Aguilera, and he basically said that Canelo Alvarez versus Beterbiev is the fight of the year. And my thing is, that fight makes no sense. Canelo is not campaigning at 175. Canelo Alvarez cannot go in there. And I think skill for skill, he can compete to a degree, but these guys' size and power is just going to be too much. Canelo Alvarez needs to stay at 160 and 168, and those are where he belongs. That's why I look at the Bivol fight at 168 in Canelo's favor, because Bivol is losing weight. He's going to take some steam off of his jab and his shots. But at 175, all of that steam is there. Canelo's not messing with them boys at 175. But at 168, that's where Canelo reigns supreme. That's where he's king. And if anybody's dumb enough to move down there and take that fight, they're going to get beat. And that's really that simple. And, a lot of people just don't want to see the truth. I think it's going to be a close competitive fight, but I think Canelo beats him at 168. 175, it's not happening. The problem
with Bivol moving down to fight Canelo is that he has to stop him, which I don't think he stops Canelo. But two, I have to agree with Nuke. He's going to be draining down some. Now, I will say this, that Beterbiev is smaller. I mean, not Beterbiev. Bivol is a smaller 175-pounder, so he may be able to make the weight. But at the end of the day, he's still moving down into what would be considered, in my opinion, Canelo's comfort zone, and that would give Canelo the edge on him. I think it's an interesting fight, a very interesting fight. With Bivol only, though, I don't really think anybody else at 168 has a chance, and doesn't favor Canelo at 175. I don't think anybody should. You got to be a fucking idiot to demand Canelo fight at 175 anyway. That's just idiotic, bro. Like, it shouldn't even be a fucking demand for that. Like, are you people stupid? He went up there to take a belt from Kovalev, and that is called an accomplishment. He doesn't have to do any more at 175. He never said, hey, I'm going to go clean out 175. You idiots. He just said he was going to go take a belt. He did that. What else does he have to do? He don't have to do a goddamn thing at 175, and it's ridiculous for me to even demand him to do anything at 175.
This is the problem I keep getting people telling me, and they say, well, why didn't Canelo fight Bivol at 175? Why didn't he fight Beterbiev at 175? My thing is, you moving up fighting a champion, what fucking difference does it make? That's not your division anyway. So if I'm moving up to fight a champion, should it even matter? Isn't that just an accomplishment?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You can't just say if he went up, you can't just say if I fucking go out and beat Triple G, and that's a hell of a fucking accomplishment. You can't say why didn't I go out and beat Canelo? At the end of the day, this is what I think about the Dmitry Bivol Canelo situation. Dmitry Bivol understands that he wouldn't get a Canelo fight at 175. It don't make no sense for Canelo to go up there and fight him. You talking about a young, fresh, and seriously, in my opinion, he's the most talented guy at 175. In my opinion. And so if Bivol wants a big fight, he's been wanting a big fight. He's been trying to get a big fight at 175. He can't get it. So what he's willing to do is he's willing to go down to 168 if he has to fight Canelo to get that big fight and take that risk. Now for him, it could be a win-win situation, because I would have to look at it, and I'm sure the public going to look at it like, hey, he went down to 168 to fight Canelo to be great. Who's going to knock you for that? He can go back to 175 and still do his thing up there. Now for Canelo, he just is fine where he is. I don't know why people would think that Canelo's going to go up there and fight a puncher like Beterbiev at 175 or fight a Dmitry Bivol. Like, what y'all want this man? Y'all just want to risk Canelo being a vegetable? Like, what Canelo is doing, he's already showing very, 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 he's showing you a lot of greatness, man. And yes. I don't think, I think people they automatically demand something. It's like if you run through a burning building with gasoline draws on it, that's the challenge, man. People want you to come through do it again, hold 2 buckets in your hand with gasoline and fucking run through that motherfucker next time. Like, it's just never enough. You gotta always go to the extreme. It's like fucking steroids with these fans, man. It's like extreme. Like, what hasn't the guy done to show you, you know what I mean, that he's a great boxer?
It's ridiculous, bro. And look, I want to say this too, because I heard this narrative. So I want to just put a fucking foot in this narrative before it even starts. And I've already heard a couple of people saying it. So I hope some of you idiots that said this are listening. Don't even start the narrative about Canelo is making Bivol come down or making Bivol do anything. Bivol offered to come down to 168. So if the fight does happen, it wasn't Canelo and his weight causes again or Canelo doing anything. This was an offer that Bivol made, and it goes on to what Mr. Two said, because he know he ain't getting that fight at 175. So you guys don't start that dumb shit about Canelo forcing Bivol to come to 168, because to me that sounds like a pre-made excuse. Because if he comes down and Canelo's win, and y'all like, oh, he forced him to come to one he wouldn't see him at. Don't even start that dumb narrative, because Bivol said, I will come down. He offered it.
Right. And that's a fact, D. And all I wanted to say was, you know, people got to be serious here. If Dmitry Bivol is dumb enough, you know what I'm saying, to risk what he has at 168 instead of trying to force the hands of, you know, the other champions at 175, because he doesn't speak, you know what I'm saying, he doesn't speak very much. He's a very, you know, he is a very great, he's a very graceful champion, you know, but if he wants to dare to be great and go down to 168, and he's not willing to go down there, take a couple fights to 168 first, acclimate his body to the fucking weight, and then fight Canelo, that's on him if he gets his ass whooped, gets an L, and then goes back up, you know. I mean, that's the choice you make. But, you know, you can't sit up there and just expect all of these fucking just extremes and just have these fucking random ass fallacies about, oh man, he should fight better Beef. Why did he fight, you know, he should fight better Beef. He should fight Bivol at 175. He fought fucking Kovalev. Like, come on, man. It's just never enough.
And the only thing I'm going to add to this point, and I'm going to leave it there, is Canelo gained, and I had a lot of people coming to me and saying, why has Canelo not fought Bivol at 168 yet? He was calling out Canelo at 168 last year. And listen, in the words of my brother from another mother, you idiot. D Donut motherfucking Shop Jefferson, you idiot. If you think that Canelo Alvarez has anything to gain from fighting Dmitry Bivol at 168 pounds, you're an idiot. This man doesn't even have a belt. Why not fight a guy for a belt at 168? What are you talking about? You idiot.
Right, like y'all just, it's like, you know, these guys need to be see, because that's the thing, because all of you fans and fanboys of these other fighters, y'all aren't getting the fights you want at your weight classes, and the guys aren't unifying at your weight classes are becoming undisputed. So you expect these guys to go up in weight, go down in weight, you know what I'm saying? Jump around, move up 3 weights. Y'all want them to do all of this spectacular wild ass, you know, fantasy driven shit. You know, y'all don't want them to be realistic. You know, the realistic thing is, you know, fighters need to step up. They need to fight guys in their weight class. They need to unify divisions, you know, and companies like Premier Boxing Champions need to be more willing to work with, you know, other corporations so these fights can happen, because the only clog in the drain is really at 154, 147. Like, other than that, there really isn't an issue.
Hold on 1 second, Two Hands. I got a resident. One Flyboy came in, and, you know, and he absolutely hates Canelo. But you know what? I like One Flyboy. He's always able to join the discussion. He said, "What about a catch weight for a belt? 168 makes no sense." One Flyboy, this is the problem you're missing. Canelo didn't even mention this guy. He said he'd go to 168. He didn't say I'd fight Canelo at a catch weight. He said I'd go to 168. You idiot.
Didn't you just hear what I said, One Flyboy? Did you not pay attention to what I said? I put a fucking foot in that type of shit before he even starts. Bivol offered, dude. You can't say that Canelo should have to do a goddamn thing when this fighter offers to come to 160. It don't have to be at least anything, because he offered to come to 160. Cut that shit out, bro. It's like anything to go at Canelo with you people, bro. Anything.
Absolutely. And look, man, right now we're going to sign out. It's the Eviction Notice Show. Two Hands, D Donut Shop Jefferson. You guys want to sign out and give your final thoughts?
Hey
Yes, sir,
man, my man Nuke be dropping that fire. So hit that like because I don't see enough thumbs up. I want to see some more. Hit that like, subscribe to my man Nuke. You know what I mean? And Mr. Two Hands Up, fire. Go subscribe to Mr. Two Hands Up. Fat. Y'all know I always do for the love of sports. Let's talk about
Let's talk about it. Yeah, man, as always, man, salute to the chat, man. Hey, man, appreciate y'all, man, always coming through, showing love, man. Appreciate you, D. Jeff, as always, man, my DMV brethren, man, my brother from another mother, Nuke, man. Appreciate you, as always, man. We're just going to keep turning this eviction notice thing up, man, and keep serving these papers, man. And as we always say at the end of this shit, man, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind.
Woo!
Motherfucking balls, respect.
Respect. And look, man, me and Two Hands are going to stay on it with this eviction notice grind. Because you know what? Every time we see a fanboy, hater, or an idiot say anything stupid, we're going to come in here with the facts, give them the opportunity to pay their rent, or they will get evicted. Salute. Until the next time, it's the IBFP in Two Hands. Salute.
Salute.